are trying to make ends meet and they decide, you know what, let me go into advance fee fraud in its varying guises, whether it's the G plus like I hear where there are rituals involved, or it's a regular one, people try to either have date scams or try to defraud people. Some of them now are now getting into the phone business where they call you and tell you, oh, give me your bank details, blah blah blah. We fondly call them scammers. But all of these things are happening in schools, and do not forget, it's the role of the EFCC to try and stem this tide. But the question many Nigerians are asking, so you want to fight financial crime, do you go about it harassing people, putting fear into people? In some cases, some have even described Gestapo-style invasions, where the police come into blocks of apartments in the middle of the night sometimes, where people will be very, very difficult, or will find it very difficult to escape or even identify, in quotes, the police officers. They come in and they harass people, they take their laptops, they take their phones, they search illegally, by the way. But there is a provision for a stop and search. If they feel, if you check your constitution, you find it there. If they feel they have a right to stop and search. But why then are these, in quotes, harassment or stop and searches happening within the campuses, particularly as we're looking at University of Port Harcourt this morning? Is there justification? Is the presence of, in quotes, Yahoo boys enough to draw these individuals, talking about members of the Nigerian police, to investigate? And the way they manner that they carry out their investigation, up to par, up to international best practices? We will find that this morning. But here's that clip from the university.
There's a time they actually came here with UNIPORT shuttle, and they stood here and they were taking boys from the road. That treasure villa, they broke into the houses there and started harassing boys, checking their phones and the rest. We thought it's going to end for real, but it's back again. Like, they are back and they are harassing very much.
It's threatening to young boys. When you see them, even if you don't have anything on you, you will be forced to find a way out of that place, because definitely they might just dig at a death from nowhere. These days, having a crypto wallet can get arrested because of that.
It's very, very painful because they are actually tampering with our rights and our freedom. What they are doing right now is they are coming to lodges, barging into people's room and all that. I would really appreciate if the government can really look into this and do something about it.
All right, so one of his earlier comments, one of the respondents that was granted that interview to our reporter, said they break into, emphasis on the word, break into these buildings or these complexes. So it doesn't look like they have a warrant. They don't show a warrant or warrants to effect a search of a particular complex or an individual. And then even more frightening these days is the guise in which they come. Now, one of the young men who spoke to me yesterday said, when you see these individuals, sometimes they look like they are about to go to a war. They are huge individuals, meaning they must be some members of some special unit of the Nigerian police force here in Port Harcourt. They are huge. The weapons they carry are obviously loaded, because in some cases they seem to have about 3 or 4 extra cartridges of munitions, all in a bid to try to, as it were, investigate. Now, what is very sad here is this. These, in quote, men were once teenagers, were once young or younger individuals. I'm not quite sure they had that same experience. I don't know. But now that we're talking about it, we have our sons, our cousins, nephews, children who are now saying, look, it's now becoming a huge challenge just being a young man in the university. Now, it becomes even more challenging if you have a car. Now, this is not to say that we don't have our youth who are engaged in nefarious activities. Very true. Some of the boys that you get to see who have cars on campuses actually have these cars, actually have these devices without the knowledge of their parents. But is it fair to now stereotype, and then any person who looks good, who is dressed well, who has a flashy phone or a decent phone, does he now warrant a stop and search? Sounds like unfair stereotyping. But let's get to hear from you this morning. Is there justification? Some of the actions of the members of the police force going to these areas to, as it were, try to find out these nefarious individuals, these culprits, these hooligans, these Yahoo boys who are defaming and demarketing River State and Nigeria? Is this the best way to do so? Hello, Port Harcourt. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0007, and then the female caller line is 0817-923-0009. Match number 3, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Match number 3, good morning. Walter.
Yeah, good.
Good morning, Walter.
Good. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Walter.
Yeah, like this thing you're bringing from air is good. You see, it depends on the school or university regulations. You know, there are things you're supposed not to carry to school. Like where my daughter, one of my daughter is schooling. Anytime they are going back to school, you don't go with phone. If they get you with phone, they see that phone. You use phone anytime you are at home or you're on holiday. The children of these days, you see, I don't blame police people going to search or do anything in the school because the radicals these children are going now in the school. It scared some parents not to take their children to some of the schools. In those days, it wasn't like that. If police is going for search, they have rights to go and search. They have search warrants.
But most of them, Walter, most of them, most of the students who have spoken to us, or at least who have spoken to me in the past, say the police never come and say there is a search warrant. We have credible evidence to show that maybe something is being illegally done here.
That is bad on the police side.
But
because anywhere you go, you must have your warrant, search warrant. And the students, they should be bold enough to ask them, where's your search warrant?
Now, Walter, these children that you just made mention, in all honesty,
then they should report to their
how many of them have you heard stand up to a man who is with an AK-47 rifle and say, please show me your warrant? How many of them? Let's be very honest.
Listen, when they see this kind of cases, they should be able to report to their lecturers.
Okay, so Walter's asking for students to get the school involved, but most of these things are happening not on campuses, but in the residential areas of the students. Obviously, the university that I'm talking about doesn't have a sway over where they
UNIPORT.
Where they stay.
Yeah, I want to
good morning.
Kind of talk about the issue on radio right now.
Yes. Good morning. We can hear you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Cindy. I'm calling from the Rema community.
Welcome.
Actually, I'm also one person that domiciled around UNIPORT campus. Now, it's people to me have a first-hand experience with this police.
Okay.
I always have people complaining when I pass around to see people go through those kind of stuff. But this was happened to me directly. But my opinion here is that in the analysis, you started very well by mentioning the police. But when you bring in the issue of Yahoo, you make the whole process what the police is doing, you legitimize it. Let us concentrate on the fact that the way at which the police behave, the attitude, or even telling somebody else, police will make people attacking them inevitable because of the way they approach the citizens.
But the reason why they say or they seem to be coming around the student area is because they have claimed that some of the students are in quotes Yahoo boys. Some of them are in possession of illegal substances, aka drugs, and these are meant to be controlled. That's why they carry out the searches. But the students are saying they're not carrying out searches; they're actually extorting. So the question is it that there's a justification for them to go to these areas or not?
Now, the police is acting by assumption and impulse.
Assumption
As
and
a professional policeman, you don't just act on assumption. How many of these boys now have they arrested and prosecuted? So what is here is they arrest these boys and ask them to transfer money into their account.
So there's no prosecution. Moses, good morning, Moses.
Yes. Good morning, Jude.
Good morning to you. Thank you for calling.
Well, this issue of police being harassing students. You see, on Monday, on my way coming from Yenagua, close to the university campus there, I saw some men. I don't know how to describe them. Very huge. On black. This same class uniform they told us they no longer exist.
Did you see a SARS logo on it?
Everywhere. They are gone. Like they have like extra 4 or 5 magazines on each gun. Now, this bike on my front with 2 passengers, like 3 in 1. The next thing, this Tiana bus just double cross them, ask the guys, the 2 passengers to come down. Yeah, and for me, seeing them, I know these guys are just a kind of either messing or this POP guy. They look very dirty.
Yes.
Come down, the guys came down, they collect their sack. After opening the sack, what did they see? Just their uniform, the clothes they wear to work. The sack, the extent of pulling their trousers. What are they looking for on the street? Come to talk of going to campus. If they have any information, why wouldn't they should go to the school authority. Hey, we have a warrant, we want to search. So that they have school security. The school security will go with them. Not them just barging into their campus, barging into their room like that.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Moses. But once again, some of these actions, these stop and searches, have happened in areas that the University of Port Harcourt directly does not have any jurisdiction over. Talking about their residential areas, but sometimes we get to see some of these stop and searches along the east-west road. Sometimes in front of the school gate. Now, I'm very sure some of these individuals are listening to us. It seems as though whilst they are meant to, as it were, protect lives and property, they don't quite know the law. We'll go for a commercial break, and when we come back, more of your conversation right here on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
is Nigeria's #1 talk, news, and sports radio station. Nigeria Info. Nigeria Info. We are back.
All right, welcome back to 90.3 Nigeria Info. Hello, Port Harcourt. Now, this morning, inside Rivers, we're taking a very close focus on the activities of some members of the Nigerian police force who, according to our report, as when it was filed yesterday and up to this morning, we haven't gotten a clear word from the police authorities who these individuals are, who are going around universities, in this case, the University of Port Harcourt, and stopping and searching students. Now, that on its own is not a crime, but the students are saying that they are now being harassed. In some cases, they get their apartments, in quote, broken into. These people don't come and tell you, oh, we have a warrant to search this building. No, they just jump in. So, I asked the question, is there a justification? Because there's been enough evidence in the past to show that some of our students, some of our young men and young women are engaged in advance fee fraud. But the question arises, is this the best way to investigate? Do you stop them and then extort money from them? Do you criminalize their having a laptop? These days, you need to have a laptop to carry out your assignments. Let's get to hear from you. Samuel is on the line. Good morning, Samuel.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Samuel. Welcome.
All right. I want to say that the police is overdoing their job, and that's why we are having all this accidental discharge and killing of innocent people. There is nothing wrong in securing school environment. Of course, that should be a welcome development. The police should stay around the area and all of that. But now, if the police suspect any issue or there's any matter reported to them, the school authorities should be aware of it. They need to get a warrant from the school, whether the student is living inside the school premises or outside the school premises. Because once you're sent to school, your data, your everything, in fact, your parents have insured you to the school authorities. So if anything negative happens, the school authority should be aware and they can go into patch or what have you. But harassing students is very wrong. Before you know it, they stop the student. Before you know it, they kill the student unlawfully. So I want to urge the Nigerian police to please kindly do their work professionally.
Do the work professionally. Noble is calling us from Ada George. Good morning, Noble.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to make a little contribution to this discussion this morning.
Yes, please.
Actually, I work within a school campus.
Okay.
So I have experienced a lot of this. And I noticed that the police, they are just using this to extort students. You know, they know that, as in, they know students are afraid of them, and they can just come around, claim whatever they want to claim that they want to search and all that. Then they'll be looking for one thing or the other, even from what is not what they are looking for. They will just hinge it on something. They anchor it on something, and then if you are not careful, they will now ask you to come and withdraw money and give to them. Let me cite an example. I traveled to Bori. That was the day before yesterday with a friend of mine that is around, that is based in the U.S. So most times his things, his clothing and everything are usually in the boot of his car. So we just went to buy some food, and on our way coming back, police stopped us. So because he is having this bread and all that, so they were suspecting him to be a cult guy or something. So from his addiction, the way he was talking, his accent, you know that he's not based there. So they now started searching. They asked us to stop. They opened his bags, the boots, everywhere. They were searching. They saw some drugs, as in allergic drugs that he's using when he's here, so that he won't fall sick. So the policeman does not even know what that drug is. He wanted to this drug is not the right drug, that is like kind of cocaine or something. It was something else. So I had to come in and plead, and he gave the guy one. In fact, he asked us to pay 100,000.
100,000 naira.
He's written a drug for allergy. So those are the things they do. They will just go to where they know students reside. They will just go there, claim one thing, extort the students, and they will go away. Having known that is where they usually get this money, they will be going. The next time they will come with another set of sports. And I'm sure their GP or whatever is not aware of the movement they are making.
Okay, all right. So that's what we need. The authorities to be clear with the actions. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Akantu.
From Borogon.
Good morning, Akantu.
Yes. This process during this video. However, let me talk about the police. Yes. Truth, I was a former student, president in Ken Sarawiwa Polytechnic Board. Okay. And of course, before now, there was a attachment of a mobile or the anti-cultism unit to that school due to high rate of insecurity then in that school, cult-related activities. But until recently, the activities of that anti-cultism unit in Kent Police have been, I don't know how to describe it. They have been doing their work beyond expectation, harassing innocent citizens. It is not wrong sometimes for person to leave a bar hair, or sometimes for you a bushy hair, or wear or have a cartoon. An artist, sometimes they can tie a cartoon at their hand. But if you categorically you will script their hand, tie them into vehicle. And I thank God for the new rector, the new acting rector of the Kent Police. Because of the activities of that anti-cultism, it disbanded them. But do you know what is happening recently, Jude?
Well, what's happening?
The anti-cultism unit, instead of them to use, because it was originally signed from the Commissioner of Police River State an attachment to Kent Sarawiwa Polytechnic Board. Now, do you know what they do? They now organize their unit in Bori without reporting to any person. That is, they use that structure, go to Bori, Tapewa Road, at any time. If they see a handset, 2 handset with you, they will not confide to 2 handset, you are a suspect. If they see you with rings in your hand, they will go arrest. I speak now, Jude. Go to that. I'm talking now. Go to that road and see what they are doing on that road. And again, that is what is happening as I speak now. And again, Jude, let me tell you, finally, recently, there's a coffee in River State. And of course, in Kent Police, there is a demarcation between the school and one small road. Before 6:30, some policemen will go to that school because the school students are writing an exam. They will not go there before 7 o'clock. But once it's 6:30, they will not extort students, carry money from them. You pay 500 one time, you are moving to that side. Do you know what I do? I responded because I know the right of students. I former student union leaders. And I told the police to say what they are doing is wrong. You know what they do? This thing happened 3 weeks ago. They bundle me, they tie my hand with those students and lock me in police station. Wow. Thank God on my Facebook page, I wrote something on my Facebook. They have been arrested. Do you know people mobilized to that police station? What happened? They are extorting money from students. And I thank God today, Commissioner immediately, we call Commissioner Police immediately. Commissioner Police now warn them not to dare it again and go to Kent Police route. So the high rate of extortion on our students, the high rate police are taking their job. I don't understand. They're using necessity as a way of extorting money from them. And you see, it is not good. You know, it is not good. What they're doing on our campuses is not good. We are all human.
Thank you very much, Akantu. Obviously, very, very vociferous there. Emotive, even. 90.3, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, please. Welcome. Hello? Okay, Austin, we need to hear you clearly. Hello? Oh dear. I must apologize, Austin. Could not take that conversation. That line not particularly favorable. WhatsApp and Telegram 0809 030 6416 0809 030 6416. That is our WhatsApp and Telegram number. Comfort is speaking to us from Alakahia. Good morning, Comfort.
Okay, thank you, Jude. Yes, I'm a student and I stay off campus.
Okay.
And I've been listening to you since you started. Yeah, it's true. They come to lodges to disturb the boys that are around. There are some days where our security would just have to close the gate because they are around. You know, we don't go out because we know they are around. There was this night where they were banging on our gate. It wasn't like they got any information that there was any Yahoo boy in our compound or anything.
Okay.
But yes, those boys they are around. But most times they just come unannounced, the police people. And
do they ever tell you? Did they ever tell you, oh, we are the police, we have a warrant to search, we're looking for ABC person?
No.
They don't?
No. They just come to the doors and they knock on the doors. They enter the houses and they harass the boys. They harass them, collect money from their hands.
They collect money?
Sometimes they even take them away.
Is there any proof? Does someone have to have a certain kind of maybe laptop, or do they set a device to say you are probably a Yahoo person, or just any boy at all? They just
any boy at all. Any boy at all. When they take your device, you have to bail it. You have to pay them certain amounts. So it's very
What if you have
things almost every day?
Comfort, what if you have what students call a pasala phone? Do they still harass you?
If you have
a pasala phone, a cheap phone.
No. So what the boys do these days is they have two phones. They are normal Android or iPhones. They keep it at home whenever they want to go out.
Wow.
Or most times they don't even bring it out. They just use their smaller phones for making calls. And maybe when they are alone inside their houses and maybe there's no threat, they use their normal phones.
All right. Comfort, thank you very much for speaking to us this morning. So we're having students living in some form of fear. King in GRA, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jude.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Yeah, my name is King. I'm calling from GRA, Port Harcourt.
Welcome, King.
I have a terrible eyewitness report that happened severally, and I need to put it out in the public domain. Hello?
Well, listen to you, King.
Okay, I think part of the challenge we have in our society, in our state today, is that government does not respond to feedbacks from citizens. A lot of indigenous people have written severally, both by SMSs, by letters, and several correspondences to government, to provide solutions to many of these insecurity, health situations, capacity building, youth empowerment, and some of these things that will develop our society and grow the economy. But unfortunately, the government of today, they don't respond to letters, they don't respond to correspondence, they don't respond to feedbacks from citizens, those who voted them into power. It is very frustrating and disgusting. How can people put up their intellectual property by way of correspondence to government, to those who are in power, who are in positions, those who are our representatives, those who are our leaders? You can see protests everywhere, you can see insecurity everywhere, demonstrations everywhere, joblessness everywhere, criminality everywhere. When you make this information available to government, they don't work on it. They don't respond to correspondence. They don't reply. They don't take action. That is why there is so much insecurity. There are health challenges. There are correspondence on health, on power, on security. Listen to government authorities, via messages, text messages, letters. They don't respond. So how do we solve the problem that we have in the society? I hope the government is listening. They should go back to the old system of government of giving feedback, responding to information from the citizens. It will help us to grow the state. It will help us to save our society from the menace, the criminality that is going on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. King says it is the lack of response, lack of engagement, where you have a feedback mechanism. You do something, there's a response as to what has happened, what was the result of those actions taken, that's gotten us to this point. Match 3 Nigeria for good morning.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. It's Austin again.
Good morning. Welcome, Austin.
Yeah. So, just want to give a story of my neighbor, 2 of them. That was 2 years ago. They went to Rumokoro area to get something. So while going, there's a friend close to that uses boats. So the guy picked them to Rumokoro. They bought some things close to Rumokoro. And they're not coming back. Those police people that normally stay across the flower in those close to Mago police station, those police people there, they stop these guys, ask them to come now. Then what are they doing? They still want to back to Rumokoro. What are you people doing? You are sort of UNIPORT. Oh, now, here's your phone. This other guy has Redmi. And the other guy has a Techno. They ask them, open your phone. They open their phone. They check their balance. You're having money in your account. How much is this? 180 to something. They say, you are your boys. You are courtist. The guy said, no. They took their phone from there. Asked the boat guy to go. The boat guy. They say, the boat guy is not going to. They are going to shoot the boat guy. What is wrong with him? He should live here. So they dragged them to the station. Those former stars at this SARS road here. They kept them there. They allowed them to call anybody throughout the night. The next day, they collected those money from their account. They asked them to go to collect it. They collected money from them. They did not give them their phone that they should call their people to bring more money to back up their money. This also, they will shoot them. These guys.
Wait, hold on. When did this happen?
That was like 2 weeks ago.
And since then they've not reported. They've not.
Look at what happened. So they said they shot them gun. Because if you don't write what they asked them to write, they're going to shoot them. So before they brought them out for statement, there's a guy inside there that they shoot the guy's 2 legs. The guy was telling that they asked him to write. I said I'm not that. That's why they shot me on my leg. Please, you push us go there and so they wrote everything. We are courtists, we are this, we kidnapped.
So it was a false confession.
Okay. Yeah. So they not get them the phone. So this guy have to call his uncle. And the uncle knows that this one big policeman in Port Harcourt, like major person. So the guy have to call. They have to release them. After 2-3 hours, we are together. The policemen that deploy on that station, they called them that they should please come and collect their money. That they did not know that they are this kind of person's relative. The guy told the man that no, we are not coming. You can collect the money. You people can take it to avoid tomorrow people start coming to look for us. Okay, now these people. So that was how the guy. I told the guy, why can't you go? And he said, no, I don't want to go because when I was inside, there are so many cases of people that are there that they did not allow them to make call at all because of their connection. It's not even Pasabi. He will be here.
Okay, all right. That's a sad eyewitness report. There and more coming. Let's get to read some of them. All right, the Nigerian police force has no business with drugs or internet fraud. They should allow NDLEA and EFCC respectively to do their jobs. The Nigerian police force use arms to protect Nigerian leaders, looting the nation's treasury rapidly. They use their arms to extort motorists, use their arms to coerce university environments in the guise of search for students into cyber crime and extort them. I ask you, do you use crime to fight crime? Mike sends that message. All right. Jude, the police check your phone and anything with anything because the police don't want to see you with the phone. And the law says police do not have the right to check your phone without a warrant. Prince. And that's from Akpaju. Good morning, Jude. The curfew in Rivers State has really become an avenue for police to harass, intimidate, and extort. The government should look into this, especially along a Limbu road. In fact, they collect as much as 6,000 naira from motorists from 5 minutes to 6 a.m. It is alarming. Cornelius from Port Harcourt. All right, so tomorrow morning, when we start off with Inside Rivers tomorrow, we're going to take a very close look at these curfew and the activities. We want to get to hear from you, and hopefully we'll get maybe a representative from the Nigerian police force to join us tomorrow morning. We're going to put calls through because Rivers people are speaking, and so they have to be heard. My name is Jude. Well, thank you for joining us on this first segment. We'll go for commercial news, top of the hour, 10 a.m., and then have a very small question to ask you from the 5 past 10. Alfred Oladapo, all things being equal, will be here with us later on from 11 for our major conversation. I cannot wait to have it with you. Hello, Port Harcourt.